Hey, we made it. Internet stuff. Sometimes it's a little late, but we're here. I don't know if you heard that. I tried to hit an applause thing. Hey, welcome to Pour Over Marketing. I'm Rob Southgate, festively dressed because we are in the throes. Here we are. We've got a Santa hat up in the corner. I might have to get a Santa hat to wear when I do this. So, welcome everybody. We've got week 2 of, what did I call it? Road to the Holidays. I know, so original, right? What if I could come up with something better? Can't use Palooza. I already got Internet Integrated Marketing Palooza. Gonna have to find something else to use. Here, and I'll throw this on here too. So when we have some comments, they will appear here. And let's also throw this up. There we go. Now it looks like something's going on here. So, okay. What is it? Week 2 of November. Your business. Yeah. It's actually the beginning of week 2. It's the 8th today. Your business is important and it needs to be treated properly at this time of year. This is when the money flows. It's like Frank Herbert said, the spice has to flow. Shout out to my nerd friends. Good morning, Pierre. So last week we talked all about, and hardly anybody was here. I know a lot of people watched it afterwards, so I'm hoping that trend continues, that people watch this and get ideas. Coffee's good today. Here's the deal. You don't want to get caught off guard. You don't want to be too late. The holidays are important. I don't care what you celebrate. I don't care if you celebrate. From a business standpoint, the holidays are really important and you need to be thinking about them. And I don't care what your business is. You're a tax professional. Why do you wait until closer to April to promote your stuff? No. Now, you might get interest. You might get people buying things. You might get people on your email list. So here's the first thing that I want to talk about. And please, if you guys have questions, throw them in the comments. Pierre, I see you're already in there. Any comments would be great. Any questions would be great. Any ideas would be great. I want this to be an open forum here. Okay. I lost the one idea already. I got another idea I gotta share. So Thursday nights, you know how I wanted to do the live show, and I had it scheduled. It was going to be every 2 weeks. We were going to do happy hour. Well, I'm working a job at night, and it's kind of in flux when I'm available, so I can't schedule Thursday nights right now. I'm hoping after the first of the year, after we get through all the holidays, going into next year, maybe it'll be January, maybe it'll be February, we can get back to doing our happy hour, because I think happy hour is a lot of fun. I did an experiment last week with a way of presenting this show, and it showed me a lot. It made me say, I know what to do on happy hour versus Saturday morning. But right now, because of working, I can't really do that. Okay. Back to what we were saying. So holiday marketing is vitally important. I don't care what it is that you're marketing. I don't care what your business is. This is the time to make people aware. And I do remember exactly what I was going to say before, which is something that I beat the drum about with my classes all the time. I'm going to say it to you guys here. You want to make sure, let's make that big. Ooh, I like that. You want to make sure that number one, you're prepared, but number two, actually switch that. Number one, you have a goal. Number two, that you're prepared. And we're right in the throes of that. You should be getting prepared. You should be creating a strategy, or at least an outline of what you want to do and how you want to do it. But number one of all is have a goal. So the easy goal is sales. I want lots of sales. Well, great. This is the time of year to do that. But maybe your business doesn't warrant that. I mentioned an accountant. How many sales are you going to get now versus closer to tax day? Tax day is the big show. The month leading up to tax day, you're probably getting inundated with business. But this time of year, right now, is when you could set a different goal, which is maybe brand awareness, getting people on your email list, gathering emails. That might be a great goal if you're, say, somebody like an accountant, where you go, hey, we've got, this weekend, have a loss leader of some sort or some type of giveaway. Sign up this weekend, get my whatever guide, sign up, Black Friday weekend, get my guide to the best 2025 tax breaks or something. I'm making something up here. This weekend, sign up for my email, get this. That's your Black Friday. Doesn't mean you're giving a discount on anything. It just means you're in the mix. You've got people thinking about it, talking about it, right? Have a goal. Is your goal to get email addresses? Is your goal to get phone numbers for SMS advertising? Is your goal strictly money? Could be. Is it a certain item? Okay, so I have a box of my books. I've got these right here. We've got Pod Life. And then out in the garage, I have a box of books, right? So in one avenue, I'm creating a goal that weekend of trying to sell these books. What am I going to do? But this weekend is a great time to do that. It makes a great gift. You got a podcaster in your life. You got somebody that loves listening to podcasts. This book is great. It's not how-to, it's stories, real-life stories of podcasters, okay? So I've set a goal. I want to sell, in this case, 20 physical copies of the book. What am I going to do? You have to set a goal. I'll say it again. You have to set a goal. Pierre says, you know what? I'm going to change this back to, no, it's too wide. There we go. Loss leaders can help only when there is a planned improved product service available to upsell. Right. Well, no, Pierre, not totally. Yes, they can really help if you have something, you have the loss leader you put out there and you're trying to sell them some kind of upsell. Essentially, yes, always that's what it is, but it doesn't mean it's a direct line. Okay. So if my goal is to get people on my email address and I have a loss leader of some sort, now the loss leader doesn't have to be something that you take a loss on. I know that's the term that's used. It could be a freebie. It could be, my getting started guide or something like that. It doesn't cost you anything. You put the time in, you've got your thing, and that's what is called a loss leader or a lead magnet, if you want to call it that. It works best if you get them in the door and now it leads to some type of upsell. And truthfully, that is what you're ultimately doing. If you are getting their email addresses, aren't you trying to sell them ultimately? You're not just getting them because you like to look at all the pretty @Gmails, right? You're doing it because I now have this. I can now talk about my promotions. I can upsell them. I can work this in a different way. And the upsell might be, hey, did you understand if you use these services, you can do it for $50. Mention this. In the loss leader, you mentioned, sorry, I confused that. In the loss leader, you mentioned how having a professional do X, X, and X actually improves your tax return. Now, that thing you gave away is not only promoting that, hey, everybody come in for $50, but spend a little more. And this loss leader tells you exactly why that's important and why it's going to be a benefit to you. So I'll give you an example. One of the things I'm going to be promoting is my coaching. What a surprise, right? Last year I did a Black Friday special, and I gave X amount off. I'm going to do the same thing again this year. I'm going to do it slightly differently, but we're going to do that again this year. And in that, it's really for a single session. Okay. Single session, blank amount. We solve a problem. You are better off for having spent that money. No question. Unless, the X factor is you. If you don't do anything with it, that's on you. But if you do, you're going to be better off. I'm going to help solve a problem for you that's going to make things better for you. Right. And you get a discount by locking in over Black Friday weekend. There's a loss leader that I'm working on that's going to go with that. Okay, something basic that will tie to it, but it shows in there that, yeah, you can do this single session and solve this problem, but look at all the other things we could do if you sign up for a full coaching package. And that full coaching package, there might be an element. So let's say you sign up for that discounted single session, and we go, wait a minute, we did that, it solved it. How do I do a 6-session thing? And we go, okay, great. Well, we'll actually roll that into that, so you're getting a discount ultimately on a full-blown, grouping of sessions with me, a full-grown program. You can either have the one, take it or leave it, the advice, or if you're taking it, sign up for the bigger thing. You're attaching the discount to it, and you're much better off. And I know that I can't say I guarantee it because the X factor is you, right? But I guarantee you will have better knowledge, better understanding of what you're doing. I have yet to have a client that doesn't walk away going, oh my gosh, that helped so much. It was worth every dime. I always ask that too. Was this worth it? Did you feel like you got something out of this? Because I want to make sure it's not just spout, hand me your money. I want them to walk away feeling like, I just know I need to do this and I got it. Right? Think about your business. This is not an ad for what I do. I was just using that as an example. Think about what you do. What are the ways you can do something either to do a giveaway that leads, right? As Pierre said, to an upsell or a sale. And then also go back to it. What is your goal this holiday season? I have a physical one. I want to sell, I don't know, I think it's 25 books, something like that, physical copies. How am I going to do that? I have ideas. They're all going to relate to that Black Friday weekend. I don't know if this is connecting because we don't have a lot of people in this time. Everybody's watching after the fact, and I can't answer questions when you're not here. Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. Central. That's when I'm here. And the next, 3 more weeks will be all road to the holidays where we're talking about this stuff. I mean, it's crucial right now. It's crucial to your business that you are capitalizing on an opportunity. And that's what this moment right now is. And if you wait until the week before and then go, oh, God, I didn't do anything, you're not going to get the most, as my friend Erica says, the most juice for the squeeze. Okay. Last week, we talked all about a few ideas on things you could do. And I gave you guys a call to action. I said, take a piece of paper, write down some things. What do you want to promote? Write up a basic strategy. Share it with me. Nobody shared. Okay. I feel like I'm talking to my classes. I find out later, they're all like, oh, yeah, we all did it. But nobody shares it with me. So feel free to share it with me. Think about your business. Think about what your goal is and what you want to do. And then do a simple map out. I'm gonna put this in my newsletter. I'm gonna go to this event, go to a networking event maybe, or I'm part of a pop-up or whatever, or I'm gonna create one. Okay. But think about those things and just write them down. Simple, basic outline. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys ever saw the book, The One-Page Business Plan. That's kind of what you're doing. One page. Make a plan. In that plan, do step one. Okay, guys? Do step one. Don't get bogged down in step 2, 3, 4, 5. Do step one. Just write down what my goal is, what I'm going to promote, and then some basic, what are ideas on how I can promote it. Okay. Once you've done that gentle part of it, seems daunting. Once you put pen to paper, it's not as daunting as you think. The hardest part is wrangling the ideas, because all of a sudden you'll start going like, but I could do this and I could do that, and this is over here, and that's great. That's how we think, entrepreneurs, right? But once you get through the woods of that, then you go back and you say, okay, what are the pieces of content? What are the items I need to do all these things? I don't care if you sit there with Canva and make what you need. I don't care what you do. I'll tell you what I just did this week for one of the things. I did a Google spreadsheet. Okay. Did a Google spreadsheet and put down a couple of different, like, what are a couple of things I need to be promoting, right? Then I started going down the line and I was like, where am I putting it? I'd already made a chart, right? But now I put it on there. And what it showed me is, okay, some of these things are just a post. So it's a note in Substack, let's say. And then some of them need a meme. Okay. Rather than sit and create the meme, I just wrote some notes like, I need a meme that just has a quote on it, or I need a meme from somebody else that I share. Try to find a meme like this. Okay. That's it. It took me maybe a half hour to plot out one aspect of what I was doing, a nice big thing of what I was doing. And you can do that too, because it gives you a roadmap. We now have, you can look at it one way. It's like, oh my God, we've only got 3 weeks. Or you can say, if I do this, if I take a half hour today, I get up Sunday morning, I get my coffee, I have my own version of pour over, and I sit down with a pad of paper and I just write down and I pick. If my capacity is one thing, I pick the one thing. Put a goal on it, pick the thing. Okay. Make this chart. I did it the other day. It's been fantastic. It's worked so well for something that I'm doing, which is leading to Black Friday. I was able to pepper it with things, and I was like, oh, wow, this is working. And all week, I implemented things that were done last week. I just copied and pasted, put it here, moved this over here, put it here, scheduled a few things. So throughout the month, I'm not going to have to think about all those things. They're already done. I use a yellow highlight. When I finish one of the boxes, yellow highlight, boom. I don't have to go back to it. I don't have to think about it. It's on autopilot, but I can see where it is in the program. So if I decide I want to add something, I can see what was happening on this day. Oh, I want to say it here because it ties to that, right? It seems more complicated than it is. You can go back to the idea that I've given you guys, and Shinto, I'm going to share what you posted here in a second. You can go back to the idea that I've given of pick one lane, right? What's the thing you're good at that you know you've got some audience? If you're good at podcasting, okay, then lean into the podcasting. If you're good at social media, lean into social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever one it is. And you can pick one and plot it out. Now, when I plotted mine out, the thing that I'm talking about, it was specific to one thing, okay? And I made it one source, and I made a thing that went for 30 days. Okay, it was actually 90 different posts by the time I was done. Like I said, it took me maybe a half hour to jot the idea in. Here's the idea of it. Started filling things in. I've got 2 weeks completely filled in, right? I know exactly what's happening. And then once I did that and I knew where that was going, I went, how do I promote that in my other channels? Can I copy and paste and use the same thing? Can I make something different out of it? It made it so my simple Facebook posts or Substacks all of a sudden now had a much bigger world and a lot more reach. It gave me a lot of ways I could use it. Instead of scrambling and making the content, uh, you know, by the seat of your pants, I now have this like map and I went, oh, I can see, like I could see the branches very clearly. Okay. Chito. Hi, Chito. I'm glad you're here. Super weird, but my only goal right now is to get a publisher for my children's book. All my energy is going to querying literary agents. Is that still being an entrepreneur? Sorry if it's off the rails. I've been using journaling and planners, and it is crazy how much my productivity went up. A lot of things going on in there, Chinto. First of all, yes, you're still being an entrepreneur. You're using your time for that. If you don't have a product to sell or something that you're trying to do for Black Friday, then your goal is getting published. Okay. Putting all your energy into that, querying literary agents, that's what you're doing. You could use the same things I'm saying too, is make yourself a chart, who, where, when you're contacting. If part of your thing is I do research on literary agents on this date, okay, great. Not off the rails at all. That is what you need to be doing right now as an entrepreneur. You need to be doing that part of it. Let's say I was talking to a company, somebody from a company the other day, and they just started working on this project. And yeah, there are people in this company that need to be focusing on selling X product. But the person I was talking to, that's not their focus. Their focus should be finding investors, getting all, and to find the investors, what are the things you need to do? It's project management. Is your business plan in order? Are your numbers good? Have you had it reviewed by anybody? Is anybody helping you out with that? You should be spending your time on that stuff to make this apple super shiny so everybody wants a bite. While at the same time, there are people in your organizations whose goals have to be sales. They have to be brand awareness. They have to be gathering emails. If you have enough people that they could, like if you have 5 people in your group, they could all have a different goal that is all ultimately leaning towards the one thing. If it's just you, well, Chinto, in this case, man, yours is querying, finding publishers. By the way, have you been on Four Horsemen's website? Because you're coming with the whole package. You've got a book, you've got art. We don't have to do that for you. That's where it's tricky with kids' books. If the publisher has to pair the artist to the writer, they better have a stable of people to work from, and that's where it gets really tricky. But you're coming in with everything. I would contact Four Horsemen and see if they're interested. They do pretty well with kids stuff. Depends on what you want to do with it and what it is, But I think that would be a publisher that if I was you, I would contact Four Horsemen Publications. Let me see if I can pull up. And let me see if I have. Here we go. Look at this. I'm going to put it right here in the chat for you. And yes, you just said a lot of agents I'm talking about have told me they want illustrators, authors. Yeah, because it's so much easier. It's so much easier. If you come in with a package like that, that's a much easier fit than, hey, I wrote a kid's book and I need to be paired with an author or an illustrator, or this is who I want for my illustrator, and this is who, here's the book I wrote, and I'm bringing my illustrator with me. And if they don't think that's a marketable illustrator, or they love the illustration and they don't like the writing, it makes it a little harder sell. But if you do both, they're buying the package. There you go. I just put Four Horsemen Publications. I put it in the chat. Submissions. You go there. You can submit. It says it's temporarily closed. Okay. Then ignore what I said there. Let me connect you to them. There you go. I'll see what we can do. Doesn't mean I have any pull. It means actually nobody does. That's the better houses do it that way. Nobody can say I've got a friend and I do this. It's got to be almost blind, but we can tell you a path to submitting something. So I will talk to them. The nice thing also is people think that you get one publisher and, oh God, what if I pick the wrong one? That's the same scarcity problem that you're taught with college when you're going in, and it's like, if I pick the wrong degree, I'm so screwed. It's like, well, no, people change their degree 4 or 5 times, right? And what you ultimately do with your degree might be very different than what you anticipated when you picked your degree. Same thing here. Think about an author like Stephen King. He's published, like he'll put his book out. Let's say Putnam puts out his book, and then a couple years later they do a reprinting under Viking, and then a few years later Penguin does something with it. It's like, it's how it works, especially if you self-publish and then get a publisher that does it. Yeah, so don't stress about that so much. Look for a publisher that matches what you want to do, that you feel comfortable with, and just see what happens. But being the illustrator and the author, that's a thumbs up, man. Okay. So back to holiday ideas. I can't remember if I said something more about that we were going to do today. Oh, I did. I know what it was. Before we brainstorm ideas, because I do want to brainstorm ideas. I think that's always super beneficial because we're in an echo chamber. You're an entrepreneur. You're by yourself. You're thinking up the ideas. Maybe you bounce it off your friend. It's great to be. I don't know if you guys remember when we did this, but it's great to be in a group and get ideas. We did a thing way back, and now it's probably 2 years ago. It was a business that we had created that we played on this show one time. It was called Catalyst. And the whole idea is you bring your idea, and then everybody in the group gets to, in the real thing, they get a minute to give you ideas. And you, as the person who said, here's what I want to do, you're not allowed to talk, because that's where we get into trouble. Oh, I already tried that. Oh, that's an idea. That stifles creativity. Let the person give you their creative idea, and then you take it and say to yourself, oh, I did that. That doesn't work. But maybe if they're saying it to you, it didn't work here, but was there something you did that maybe you could tweak and now it does work? Marketing is not an A to B line. Okay. You try something, it doesn't work. It doesn't mean it's garbage. It means maybe I need to try it differently. Maybe I just need to try it again at a different time. There's so many factors in what works and what doesn't. Okay. So the thing I wanted to talk about before we get to the brainstorming, or grandstanding is apparently what I'm going to do, is the other thing you need to be doing aside from this strategy and that, and this might be the easier one to do, like in the immediate, is whatever channel you're going to be focusing on. And if it's multiple channels, that's fine. We're going to talk about it in terms of multiple, but it could be a single one. Okay. If you're using social media, if you're using Substack, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, I don't care what it is, your newsletter even, okay? Forget ad campaigns and billboards and all that. Okay, let's just talk about, well, no, it could be if you have a podcast, you have a YouTube channel, whatever your portal is, you need to take a hard look at it. And I would do it today. If you have multiple, start with one. Do the same thing. Write down what the channels are. Go to Google spreadsheets. Put down what they are. These are the ones I'm going to promote through. Okay. You can list them all. You can break them into, some of you love to break them into categories. Apparently, I do too. I never knew that about myself. Social media, video, audio. Okay. Go one at a time and make sure its curb appeal is right. It looks like you want it to look. Make sure that the text is right, that all the things are there. Uh, the easiest way is not only use your eye, maybe ask a friend, hey, can you look at this? How does it look to you? They might give you a passing like, yeah, it looks great. That might be enough. Or they might say, oh, you're really asking, here's a couple things I'd change, or I wouldn't change a thing, whatever. Okay. The other thing I do is I will go to Google. Memes or emojis. Sorry, not memes. Use these emojis. Make sure it has this. Make sure it has that. It's where way back I learned about the link in bio thing that I wasn't using. I typed something like this in. I'm like, how did I not know link in bio? Because Instagram was a pain in the butt. You couldn't put a link. Then I realized if I let's say I have 10 different podcasts that I want to promote, or I want to promote uh, multiple things. Okay, I learned I can make a link tree. It would say link in bio. You do a post. Uh, I'm doing a live event, link in bio. Check out my Substack, link in bio. You go to that, and I put a link tree up. You click on link tree, and then it's got all the things. So whatever you're interested in, it's clear, it's concise. Okay. So that's what you need to do is figure out. Not you don't need to do the link tree. You don't need to do all the things I just said. What you need to do is look at what you're doing. Are you in the places you expect to be? I've got a problem personally. I I signed up for Threads. I cannot figure out what my password is, where I am in Threads. It's not tied to my things like it's supposed to be. So occasionally I somehow the world opens up for me and I'm like, I got in, and I'll post a few things and then it goes away, right? Blue Sky, I can always get in. But Threads, every time I post in it, I get a lot more action. So I need to make sure that New Media Lab and Pour Over Marketing has a Threads. That's on my list. How do I optimize it? What do the good ones look like? And in that, you might find out also, Blue Sky doesn't really use hashtags. It's what words are embedded in what you're writing. Okay. So now I know that adding hashtags is worthless there. It picks up on the fact that I wrote about interview with author blank, and then it goes author interview. That's what it's about. Okay. So figure out your channels that you want to use. This is leading into Christmas. We want to get to, or the holidays. You want to do it now, like now. And then go to Google and say, uh, examples of optimized Facebook groups. And you'll see what they say should be in the bio, how many letters, maybe, if there are any captions, anything. You'll get the sizing right. That's another thing. Do I have the sizing right on the things I'm doing? I did this with Substack. I typed in how to optimize your Substack. I just put it up and I was writing, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, there's actually a whole section here where I can fix the bio. I can make my banner. My banner is not for my Substack. It's for the people that sign up, put their email in, and they get an email with my post. They don't read it in Substack necessarily. They read it in the post that goes out to them. And I realized, oh, I had not optimized that. Now when people get the email, it's got the nice banner. It's got the right coloring for everything. Everything is set up the way it's supposed to be. My bio has certain things in it that I want them to do. There's the rest of the year for that. And then there's now. Do they need to go to things for now? Do you want to change logos for the holidays? This is the kind of thing you need to look at. You need to figure out how to optimize each channel. And they all have it. I did it with a company for I was in their YouTube thing. They were asking me to look at their YouTube channel, and I was like, okay, well, I saw things right away. They weren't curating their playlists. Their bio was non-existent. It was terrible because it just said like, we're a this, and I went, it's not optimized. It's not searchable. Doesn't tell the customer anything really. So I rewrote a short thing, 3 sentences that was tight. It had all the things it needed. Then I looked at their logo. Their logo was misshapen. It said to make your logo X size, right? I don't remember what it is. But here's the problem. When you do that on your browser, yes, it fills it in really great, but it has to be that size. But the actual band that the customer sees is only across the middle. So I had to take their thing, make the outside so it did have texture to it. It wasn't just white or blue or whatever. And then along the middle is where I put the band that had the image they wanted to have as the banner. So now when you go to it, it looks great. If you go on another platform and see it where it does have the whole rectangle, it looks great. It makes sense. Do that with your stuff. Get ready for the holidays with purpose. Do you want to have things that say something specific about the holidays and about what you're promoting? This is your chance to do that. Doesn't mean you have to turn it on yet. You could turn it on at the end of the month. Not too late. No later than Black Friday. Okay. But this is your chance to say in your strategy, okay? So when I made that thing I told you guys about, I was making this thing and I made all these posts. One of the things I did below it was I made like a checklist of the things I needed to tweak. And I put in there for like my newsletter banner, there's something tied to what I'm doing up here on the chart that has a holiday message to it to make people go, "Oh, there's a promotion coming up or there's a promotion going on right now." It doesn't say dates, it doesn't say anything. It just lets you know we're in the holiday thing here. And if I'm reading what he's saying and I'm seeing this holiday thing, I'm realizing I probably want to make a move now because it's going to change. You can also do outside of that. Now we're getting into the other half of this. Hold on, Chinto. Yeah, and each publisher has different topics. They push some author, publish different genres with different publishers. Yeah, it's crazy. It's really hard. There was a book way back. I wrote a kid's book. I actually wrote, I think, 3, and I never got them published. But way back before the internet, that's when I wrote them. You had to, you would get this book, and it was like Guide to Children's Publishers. And it was this fat book. There are so many. And I went through it. I went page by page. I read everything I could about the publisher. And for the right ones, I sent query letters, I sent samples, whatever. I didn't get published from that, but I did get response. In fact, it was very encouraging because I only got like one that was like, nope, pass. The rest were like, hey, we really like your book. We have something similar in the next quarter, so we're not going to move on it, but somebody will. And at some point I just went, I'm going to just put this on a shelf and I'll wait. Okay. Uh, yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. There's a lot of people that write kids books, but I can tell you from knowing Ginto, looking at his artwork, I was just on his website the other day. It's great. You got the right idea. You're going to connect to the right thing here. Somebody's going to pick you up. And the fools that don't are just that, fools. Okay. Back to the other thing I was saying. Uh, we need to be thinking now once we have our goal and we've optimized everything, we need to be thinking about ideas. And that's what I want to see here. Be the catalyst here. How what are you going to do? How are you going to promote during the holidays? Because remember, things take time to ship too. When everybody waits until Black Friday to start their promotion, and then people don't see things immediately. Sometimes they do it right on Black Friday, but you should be promoting it ahead of time. Hey, I'm going to be telling you something. Something's coming up on this date. Stay tuned. Some people don't care about that part of it. They'll want to get in so they can get it ordered so you're not out of stock, right? So, like, even with my book, okay, there is a drop dead date with Amazon. If they ordered on the 20th or even like the 15th, it may not guarantee that a print on demand book is going to get there. They've got to order it sooner than that. Okay. Be aware of that. How fast is the post office? Right now, the post office, frankly, kind of sucks. Ours has been, great. I've been shipping things out to people. But when I say it sucks, every once in a while, something will take like a week and a half, and you go, it was supposed to be 3 days. Be aware of that. As the holidays get busier and they're short staffed, it's going to get ugly. So you want to be doing your promotion. You want to be doing your push now so that if you have a promotion for Black Friday, it hits it and then boom, those orders can be fulfilled. Okay. Soapbox again. Let's go back to the other thing. What ideas do you guys have? I'm going to share one that I'm doing. I was looking at our podcast network and I was looking at things we've done that have made a little money. We have a t-shirt shop on TeePublic. It's a bit of a mess because uh, I put things up really for specific reasons, and then sometimes I'll promote the t-shirt, sometimes I'll promote it's got like a sticker thing, it's got a bag, it's got shirts, mugs, and I realized when I was looking at it this week, I need to go back and every single show. So I have things in there that are not the show logos. I need to create a second shop for the other stuff. Okay. I need to have one for Southgate Media Group that is literally just show logos. That's it. Every show, you can click on it, you can see the t-shirt, you can see the mug, and I'm going to pick certain ones. Like Read Between the Lines and Ink Blots, they're both book related shows. There's a book tote. Great. Do I need to have that for Nuff Said? No. Do I need to have it for New Media Lab or Pour Over? Yeah, probably. I think a book bag for this would make sense because we talk about a lot of books on here, a lot of business books. Case in point, I've been reading this. It's so good. It's so good. So I'm going back and I'm saying I'm gonna get all the logos in there, and I'm gonna promote that I have a TeePublic shop over Black Friday weekend. Buy it this weekend. Everything's on sale. You're a fan. Get the fan in your life a t-shirt. It's funny. The ones that have sold are generally ones that are not shows that people even know about. We just did good logo design on them. We have one for, we did a show called Deutschland in '83, which was about Berlin in '83. And we called it In Hoff We Trust. And I have a public domain image of David Hasselhoff where his eyes are all like wild. And I just took a clip of this and it says In Hoff We Trust. I've sold so many of those t-shirts. It's crazy. That was the show logo. So I'm going back and I'm doing that. Then I'm going to have my strategy. Where am I posting it? How am I promoting this? Certain things are going to be mugs. So for the shows, all the show mugs will be there. But then I'm going to have this other thing where I've got I Love Indie Podcasts. I've got it for the Mug of Destiny for this. So I'm going to have all of that in line. Basically, it's going to take me probably one day to build all of it. Or I'll do an hour a day for a week, get up early, 5 a.m. I'm making my mugs and t-shirts. That'll pay fruit later, but I can promote it during Black Friday and maybe we'll sell some stuff. Wouldn't that be nice? Look for the areas of opportunity. That's the other thing. That's a pro tip I'm going to give you. Where are those areas of opportunity? Do you have a website? Can you embed a little advertising in there, whether it's you or it's Google AdSense? What can you do with it? I'm doing it with our blog. I've been putting these ads on. Let me see if I can pull one up and show you guys. Okay, I'm going to it. I'm going to it. Here we go. And I will, not that. I will share it here. Share screen, window. There we go. Okay, so there's the blog for Geeking Out. Okay, when you look at it, every one of the posts looks like this, link to order tickets, got all that. And then when we scroll down, I added Google AdSense. So there you can see it. Okay, right here. I'm not putting that in there. This one is for Humble Bundle. This is like a sci-fi movie geeky thing, so it's using geeky ads. It's pulling information from what I'm posting and saying, hey, this works for this. It's not going to put those geeky ads if I'm doing a flower show or something, right? There's an area of opportunity. So as I'm promoting, so around Black Friday, I'm going to actually have a thing for Geeking Out. In fact, spoiler, what I'm going to be promoting is the t-shirt, which looks like that. You'll be able to get your own Geeking Out t-shirt and mug. What a great mug that would make, right? So with this one, short heads. So let's close that. So think about those areas of opportunity. This is your chance. I told you today, optimize things. This is your chance to maybe look at that. Can I add anything? Now, when we talk about advertising on your stuff, let's also go back and going to strip it back one more. There was a woman that I did an interview with who's a podcaster. She does one about she has like a human sexuality podcast, and it's popular. It does well, but in the beginning, it didn't have much of an audience. And she told me that she told me I had sponsors, I had advertisers from day one. So I said, well, I got to talk to you about that. How the hell? Because 15 years we've really had no sponsors other than affiliate. And she said, well, actually, the sponsors we've had have been me, not me, her. Her coaching business, where she's a sex therapist, advertises and sponsors the podcast. So when you go to the podcast, hi, this is so-and-so. I'm a licensed sex therapist and coach. If you need help, blah, 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 blah. And then it goes, I hope you enjoy the show. Boom. And then it goes into this show. She's done it that way from the beginning. And as her show grew, people were becoming aware of that. She did what we're talking about. She kind of optimized. She said, where is the area of opportunity here? I've been adding ads to this and to some of our other shows about the coaching I do. Not all of it is marketing. Some of it is dreams. So let me help you achieve your dreams. Going forward, I'm going to add some other things because, like the T Public shop, on our old stuff, I can repost that stuff and add in, hey, did you know we have t-shirts and mugs? Go to the link in the bio or go to T Public and type in blank and see our latest shirts. We're always changing things up, always adding stuff. I mean, something like that, right? That's part of the optimization. Where are the areas of opportunity that you might be missing? Now, right now, today, you might need to do the groundwork of, I have to get my bio right. My image is the wrong size. Great. Start by writing those things down. Go look at your stuff. Give it a good look. Have somebody else look at it. The sizing one is one that drives me crazy. I look at people's stuff all the time, and I'll be like, your bio is black and white and fuzzy. The sizing is wrong. Did you use a one that was 200 pixels by 200 pixels? It should be 1800 by 1800 or whatever it should be. To be clear, 1080 by 1080 is one, usually. Most of those square bio things. If you do that, at the higher resolution, you're going to be great, right? And then you can use an image compressor, and it's still going to look great. We're going to run out of time. Okay, so let's recap. Your call to action is sit down. You need to do two things this week. You're entrepreneurs, okay? You've got businesses. And if you're like Chinto, use this advice, but apply it to your method of reaching out. First thing is make a goal for what this is going to be a multiple part, okay? Let's start with number one because it's the exciting one. Make a goal for what you want to do during the holidays. What do you want to have happen with your business, with your marketing? Do you want people to sign up for your newsletter? Do you want to make sales? Are you just looking for brand awareness? What is it? Okay. Make a clear goal. Try not to have 10 goals on there. Try to have a goal. Okay. If you do need to do multiple goals, you're going to have to do this other stuff around that as well. Okay. So make a goal for the holidays. Number two, optimize the channels that you really want to focus on. If you're a TikTok person, figure out, just make sure that you're optimized. Your bio, your image, your whatever is spot on. Okay. Or even exists. What if it turns out that you're like, yeah, I'm all about TikTok. I do TikTok all the time. Then you go, oh, well, the business I want to promote is my coaching business and I don't have a TikTok. Now is the time to set up a TikTok, right? And optimize it. I know my friends out there that don't like AI aren't going to like to hear this, but you could write your bio, go to ChatGTP, type in the prompt, take the role of a TikTok influencer or a marketing director, a social media expert, and then say, optimize this bio for TikTok, and then copy and paste the bio you've written. See what it gives you back. Doesn't mean you have to use it exactly. Okay. But it might give you ideas that go, oh, look, they do these things. Why? You got to be specific about what you're asking. I want it for TikTok. Here's who you need to be for me. And I need it for this. And here it is. Optimize it. It's crazy. You'll get back things that will match the things you're finding as you're doing your research. That's the quick and easy, but don't have it write one without you dictating. Here's my bio. What can I do to optimize it? When I do that, like with that geeking out thing, I'll throw that in there sometimes and I'll just say I want it optimized. And then it'll come back and it'll change a couple of words. The word I used for this isn't one that it's not a keyword. There's a different one that's the keyword. Oh, okay. Fluffy's not the keyword. Soft and bouncy is the keyword. You go, okay, I can use that. Or I go, no, I'm still going to use fluffy. Doesn't all have to be everything a keyword. Okay. So optimize your stuff. Get your goal. Optimize your stuff. And then the third, like, super vital thing is make your strategy. When, where, what. Take a piece of paper. You can keep it simple. If you're like, I'm overwhelmed, I can only do so much. Great. Only do so much. But think about fun ways you can promote, things you can do. This is where you can do that. You can brainstorm it. Is it what I need to do? Or is it, hey, I'm going to do a gift guide. I'm going to do a countdown. For Four Horsemen last year, we did, not only did we do gift guides for each genre, but we did the 12 days of Christmas starting on Cyber Monday. Day one, or December 1st, whatever it was. Day one, we featured one thing with a promotion. That was it. And every day, you want our top selling sci-fi book? Day one. You want our top selling LGBTQ book? Day two. 12 days. It's 12 tips for how to do this. Boom, 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 boom. Every day at the beginning of Christmas. But you're using that across your social media, across your platforms to get people interested in what you have and what you're doing. Okay. I'm going to end it there. Guys, if you do want coaching, consulting, reach out to me. You can write me at rob@smgpods.com, and we'll set up a time. Even if we want to do a single session, we could take one problem and we'll work together to get that fixed in a single session. It could be that tipping point for you that changes everything. Okay, let's do it. Or if you want to do a whole program, the stuff we talked about today, like you're like, I'm in a panic. I can't get this stuff done by Black Friday. Okay, we got to act fast. Hire me. Let me shepherd you through it and get you there. Let me help you get that goal. All right. rob@smgpods.com. Guys, have a great week. Got lots of homework. Do it. So next week when we talk, we could just kind of brainstorm ideas and have some fun with it. All right. Have a great weekend, you guys. And start Christmasing things up or holiday things up, Hanukkah things up. I don't know. Kwanzaa things up. Start getting ready. I put on Miracle on 34th Street today while I was prepping because I'm like, I got to get in that mindset. I got to get in that mood because if you do it on December 24th, you have missed the whole thing. You should be working on your spring promotions by December 1st. All right, that's it. Have a great weekend, everybody.